Okay, welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to repeat the basic edits we did in lesson 3 by using our timecode in a different manner. We're going to type in values here on the hot text fields in order to set our in and out points. So first off, we have to clear out our previous edits, so we can click and drag to what we call lasso our clips in the timeline. Let me click away and show you a different way. That will, and then you hit delete, or you can also do a Control A or Command A if you're on a Mac, Control A on a PC. I'm going to do Control A, and that is a select all. If we had 20 clips, it would select all of them. And now I simply hit delete, so I clear out my timeline. I'm going to set my home key back to the beginning. I'm going to do a quick Control S just to save and update. Now I'm going to redo those edits. I'm going to go back to car 1, and as you can see, it's got our previous edit points here. Okay, the first one being around 33:10, the out being somewhere around 46:20 or something. Okay, first off, we're going to clear the previous in and out, and we can do that by placing our pointer in the center of the display window, right clicking, and then hovering down and selecting clear in out. That will clear out those in and out points and reset to the original in and out points, which is essentially the beginning and the end of the clip. So you can see the full duration is back to its original raw duration. Now I'm going to click on the time code in the hot text field, and I'm going to reset that in point by simply typing it in. Now it's a little bit covered up there, it's a little bit cut off, but that says 3310 because that was the time code I previously had. Now I only typed in 4 digits, and that's all I needed to type in because the original time code was actually 00003310. But when you're typing in this window, it reads the time code from right to left. So if you type in 4 digits, it sees the 33 as seconds and it sees the 10 as frames. If I had only typed in the 10, let me set that back in there again. If I had only typed in the 10, it would have only interpreted 10 frames, okay? But now it's seeing, let me reset that because I stepped into it and out of it. Okay, so now it's set. I'm going to hit enter, and boom, it jumps. The playhead now jumps to that in point. I'm going to hit I to mark it. You have to remember, you have to hit I and O to sort of confirm that you want that specific spot to be the in point. That's how you make the ultimate edit. Okay, now my out point, I remember, was around 46:20, but let's just do that by scrubbing. So you can sort of scrub. So right, this is how we did it before, and now I'm hitting my arrow keys, and I can see it's about 46:19. We'll just call it 46:20. So I could do it that way, but if my playhead's all the way over here, I already know that time code, say I got a script from my producer, or I've already previewed my clips and I know where my edits are, then I just type it in, 46:20, hit enter, the playhead jumps to that spot. I hit O, boom, and it marks it. Okay, and now I'm down to my 13-second frame. So now I'm going to drop it into the timeline because I'm still doing a 3-point edit. This is just a different technique. Point 1, point 2, and point 3 being the playhead in the timeline. So I'll hit my insert button, boom, and the clip drops down here into the timeline. Now I'll move to the other clip, which was car 3, and there's the original in and out points we had. Let's sort of check what those in and out points were time code wise. How do we do that? Well, we can hover our mouse around there, but that might be tricky if you've had a lot of caffeine or nicotine or whatever else. But I can also go, the more accurate way would be to go to endpoint. So here's another new little button shortcut. I can click on that and the playhead jumps to my previous endpoint, which is 2512. So I'm going to remember that for a second. Let's check the out point. Go to out. And of course the shortcuts there are Shift plus O. Here is Shift plus I. Makes sense. So let's go to the out point. Out point's at an even 37, or pretty much when the car is like at the end of the driveway. So we'll right click, clear this out, clear in out, and now set the playback over here, the head, and let's type in that time code, which I think was like 25, I'm trying to remember now, 2512. And to double check, I'm gonna go ahead and mark that in, but let's just kind of like play it from there. Yep, pretty good. There comes the car. It should be coming right into frame. Now we'll set the out point. Oops, I accidentally reset that. In case you didn't see that, I grabbed this and I trimmed it. We'll talk about that in a separate tutorial. If you make that mistake, simply Control Z or Command Z and it will reset that in point. So now the out point was when it's at the end of the driveway. What was that number? That was like 30, I think, let's call it 35. Okay, so again, I'll set my playhead back so I can type into the hot text field, type in my time code 3500, enter. Boom, goes there, mark out. Playhead has repositioned itself automatically from the previous edit down here in the timeline at the end of the other clip. Hit insert, bam, drops it right in. Let's play that little section back, and it's pretty much the same edit I did in lesson 3, only I just used a different technique by typing in my time code, because I could argue that I knew that time code ahead of time instead of having to guess it. So this is how we're going to actually do some projects. It's a very quick and accurate way when you already know where your in and out points are. And we'll move on to the next lesson, and we'll get into more editing techniques like trimming, etc., and the difference between the insert and the overlay buttons and a few other things.